Days of Our Lives Spoiled 2025. A night of joy turns dark at the bistro. Salem has never been a quiet town for long, and the June 13, 2025 episode of Days of Our Lives promises to take viewers on an emotional roller coaster. From tender moments of family bonding to chilling encounters that may end in cold-blooded murder. An evening of celebration, or something more. The heart of this episode is a gathering at the bistro. A local hotspot that's played host to many warm celebrations, heartfelt reunions, and unfortunately, more than a few shocking confrontations. But what begins as a festive evening could quickly unravel into a night that no one in Salem will forget. Jennifer Horton, Melissa Reeves, one of Salem's most beloved matriarchs, is shown sharing a tender moment with her longtime love Jack Devereaux, Matthew Ashford. Before heading out for the evening, Jennifer presents Jack with a cupcake. A small but heartfelt gesture. For longtime viewers, this may seem like a simple scene, but knowing Salem and the ominous tone set by the spoilers, even the smallest details may foreshadow larger events. Are we seeing Jennifer say goodbye in her own quiet way? Could this sweet cupcake be more than just a symbol of affection? In a town where secrets always seem to hide just beneath the frosting, it's worth paying close attention. Romance blooms in the shadows elsewhere, newish. Couple Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, and Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, find themselves caught in a whirlwind of passion. The two share an intimate moment before joining the rest of the partygoers at the bistro. While their relationship has seen its share of ups and downs, this tender interlude offers a glimpse into the love that continues to grow between them. But is their happiness destined to be short-lived? The calm before the storm often arrives dressed as romantic bliss. Cheers and chatter. Salemites come together as the night unfolds at the bistro. Residents of Salem begin to gather. There is laughter. There are toasts. Many guests are visibly moved as they offer sympathy and support to one another, a rare moment of unity in a town so often divided by schemes and secrets. Among the guests are Steve Patch Johnson, Stephen Nichols, and his ever-loyal wife Kayla Brady, Mary Beth Evans, who join the party via video call. Sharing the screen are Jack and Jennifer, allowing this close-knit group to connect across distance. It's a touching scene, one that reminds us of how deeply connected these characters are, despite all they've endured over the years. But as with every Salem gathering, joy often dances hand in hand with danger. Dark clouds over the hospital. Meanwhile, across town at University Hospital, a much darker storyline is unfolding. Kate Roberts, Lauren Koslow, ever the fierce and protective mother, is seen by the side of her troubled son, Philip Kyriakis, Jean-Paul Lavoisier. Philip's recent return has stirred up old wounds and unsettled more than a few Salem residents. His mental state remains fragile, and while Kate does everything she can to support him, danger may be lurking just outside his hospital room door. Enter Xander Cook, Paul Telfer. Never one to shy away from conflict or crime, Xander remains close, watching and waiting. His history with Philip is long and bloodied, with rivalry, resentment, and betrayal. According to spoilers, the moment Kate leaves her son's side, Xander makes his move. Is he there to talk, or is he there to silence Philip once and for all? For viewers familiar with Xander's violent past, the implications are chilling. This wouldn't be his first attempt at settling scores in the most final way possible. And with no one around to stop him, this hospital encounter could end in tragedy. Is murder on the menu at the bistro? Back at the bistro, the festive atmosphere may not last much longer. Tension bubbles beneath the surface, and the air is thick with foreboding. Spoilers suggest that what starts as a cheerful celebration might take a deadly turn. Could one of Salem's beloved residents be marked for death? Or is someone about to commit the unthinkable in front of a room full of witnesses? Viewers know all too well that in Salem, parties rarely end without at least one life-altering revelation or a trip to the ER. Final thoughts: love, lies, and looming tragedy. As Days of Our Lives marches deeper into summer 2025, the stories are growing ever more intense. Relationships are deepening, long-standing feuds are bubbling to the surface, and fate seems to be circling the town's most beloved and most dangerous residents. The June 13th episode is a perfect example of what the show does best, weaving together emotional depth, high-stakes drama, and the ever-present threat of betrayal and violence. For longtime viewers, especially those who've followed these characters for decades, this episode promises to be both heartwarming and heart-stopping. Days of Our Lives Recap, a heartfelt tribute to family, love, and legacy. The June 12, 2025 episode of Days of Our Lives delivered one of the most emotionally powerful moments in recent memory, a tribute to a father, a grandfather, and a husband that was at once touching, deeply personal, and warmly familiar. For longtime viewers who have followed the lives of John Black, Brady Black, and Marlena Evans through decades of drama, passion, loss, and resilience, this episode struck an unforgettable chord. Brady Black reflects on family and eyebrows ***. The emotional center of the episode began with Brady Black, played by Eric Martsolf, standing at his father John's side. Brady, always a pillar of strength tempered with warmth, took a moment to reflect not just on his own relationship with John, but on the complicated, often miraculous connection between John Black and his long-lost father, Timothy Robichaux. Timothy, John's biological father, was absent from the day's events, but his presence was felt in Brady's words. "He can't be here today," Brady said softly, "but it's important to remember how much he and Dad came to love each other in such a short amount of time." It was a bond that seemed to bloom overnight after decades of mystery and confusion about John's past. For years, viewers watched as John struggled to piece together the story of where he came from, often hitting walls and suffering heartbreak. So when he finally found Timothy, it was a moment of long-awaited peace. Brady recounted how alike the two men were, from their moral compass to the way they approached life with quiet strength. But of course, no scene with Brady would be complete without a touch of humor. Smiling fondly, he joked that while John and Timothy shared many qualities, there was one that made John unique: his eyebrows. "He's had those famous eyebrows my whole life," Brady said with a grin. "You don't just grow up with a father like mine. You grow up with those eyebrows always talking to you." The crowd chuckled as Brady proceeded to give a lovingly hilarious demonstration. He explained how John's eyebrows could say more than words ever could: the subtle raise when he was curious, the skeptical arch when he didn't believe a word you were saying, and of course, the dramatic flair of what Brady dubbed the "make my day" eyebrow. That, Brady said, was his favorite. "You knew when you saw that one, you were in real trouble. But you also knew he cared." Laughter filled the room, but beneath the humor was something tender and true. Brady's tribute wasn't just a comedic roast, it was the love of a son for his father and a grandson honoring the father his own dad never got to grow up with. As the smiles began to fade into soft, respectful silence, Brady's tone shifted. He turned back to the heart of the moment, John finally discovering his father. "For Dad, finding Timothy answered a lifetime of questions," he said, his voice thickening with emotion. He didn't always know who he was or where he came from, but finding his father gave him peace, gave him clarity. Brady paused, visibly moved. "But for me, I always knew who he was. He was my dad, the best dad in the world. I'm just so glad he got to feel what I've felt my whole life, what it means to be loved unconditionally by your father." Marlena's poem. Love Beyond Time ***. The emotional high point of the episode came when Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, John's enduring love and soulmate, slowly approached the podium. At first, she hesitated. Her voice was unsteady and she admitted she hadn't planned on saying anything. "I've already said everything I needed to say to John," she whispered, clearly holding back tears. "I said it before he passed." But as she stood before family and friends, her strength returned. The quiet, enduring strength fans have seen time and again over nearly 4 decades. In her hand, she held a small slip of paper. "There is one thing I'd like to share," she said gently. "It's a poem. A very simple one, but it says everything I'm feeling." And then, with the kind of grace only Marlena possesses, she read, "It's a season of true love, when we believe that only we can love, that no one has loved like this before us, and that no one will love the same way after us." The room held its breath. Marlena looked out at the faces of friends who had become family and family who had grown stronger through every storm. "John and I had so many seasons of love," she said, her voice warming. "Nearly 40 years. And through all those years, the pain, the separations, the trials, the losses, we always found our way back to each other." She spoke of the way love matures with time. How it deepens. How it doesn't fade, but transforms into something more powerful, more enduring than even youth could have imagined. "I carry every season of our love in my heart. And I always will," she said. "We overcame so much, but love, our love, always carried us through." Then, with a voice trembling yet firm, Marlena ended with a goodbye that felt eternal. "I truly believe we'll get through this now. Our love will carry us through. Good night, my love. As she stepped down from the podium, there wasn't a dry eye in the room, nor, likely, among viewers at home. It was a moment that beautifully honored not just a character's life, but the kind of love story that Days of Our Lives has always done best: passionate, complicated, resilient, and real. Hashtag a farewell that echoes through Salem. This episode didn't need explosions, kidnappings, or courtroom drama to captivate. It moved hearts through something more powerful: reflection, memory, and the timeless bond of love. For older viewers, especially those who have watched John and Marlena's story unfold over decades, this tribute resonated on a deeply personal level. It was a reminder that the passage of time doesn't weaken love. It refines it. And even when death comes, it cannot break the bonds built over a lifetime. This wasn't just an episode. It was a celebration of the characters, the actors, and the viewers who've grown up and grown older alongside them. Let me know if you'd like this edited for a printed newsletter, online blog, or television recap format.